All right, friends, welcome to the second round in this group, and it's been a very interesting group thus far. But this is these are the last two players within this round to get their second round completed. As it stands in this group, we have Freakin' Andy sitting at the top, and then Barles, and then Hera right behind him. So Freakin' Andy, a big storyline from this group with his crazy results versus Hera. But Ganji, even he predicted that he would lose to Barles in his little prediction sheet in his first round. Then he ended up winning 2-1, and I was really impressed. Like, I even said a couple days ago, I'm concerned for JorDan. JorDan got 3-0'd in the first round, but the thing is, it's not like getting 3-0'd against Hera was bad. His strategy looked bad. It didn't look like he was prepared. He was not sharp. And then I remembered, we have Freakin' Andy playing ridiculously well. Then Garls and both Ganji looked really good. So there's definitely some win the series type of vibes about this series here for the German JorDan, who played so well in the second season in TTL. We have Italians for Ganji, and then we have Dravidians for JorDan. And, everyone seems to really like Migration. It is oftentimes game number one in these sets. The players do have a bit of a say in what the first game is, because it basically is the one map remaining after a series of picks and bans. So it's a good neutral map, in my opinion. It takes a lot of skill. Ganji was able to win in the first round against Barles here, in a pretty ridiculous game where at one point Ganji had landed the starting islands from JorDan with condos and castles, and yeah, it was the wild game overall. I personally feel as though Dravidians are better than Italians. There's a build with the Dravidians that I think is smooth and crisp, and not many civs can compete with. I think the only civilization that can actually compete with the build that we may see JorDan do here is the Japanese. And Ganji also had drafted the Japanese. So I wonder why. Ganji picked Italians, then Japanese. I don't know if he'd play Japanese in any of the future games. It could be that he's more fearful of the Japanese, and so he double picked for this map. Just things to think about. But, again, my big question with JorDan is he going to be prepared? He did watch through a bunch of games. I pulled up his stream, it was 2 days ago or something, as I'm drinking my coffee. And he was just speeding through all the recs. So he was doing the Leary Tato series, the Andy Hera series. There were, I think, Viper Vivi. So he was just looking at the games, which I think is probably an indicator that JorDan's going to be a lot more familiar on how certain things could be played. Because it was rough. In fact, I think Hera was fortunate to win 3-0 in that first round. It was the sloppiest 3-0 Hera's ever had in his life. Hera obviously then looked better come round two, right? And I had said this, it's funny, I went to, it was Viper's video. Viper, it was his first round, and he incorporated the draft into the video and obviously the gameplay. And I just went to the video, and I looked at a couple of the comments, as one does, and top comment was I thought T90 was crazy when he said the top players would be unprepared, but then Viper said he doesn't remember what maps are in this. And there were a couple upvotes on that. And I was yeah, guys, sometimes it just, players that are the big names, like Viper, obviously, they're going to ease their way into it. They won't practice for it. They'll show up, be oh, that map. Okay. That's just how it goes. We're enough seasons into this where that's just how it works in a group stage situation. And so it takes a little bit of time for players to feel totally comfortable on the maps. But we are, even though this is week 2 for Ganji JorDan, we're technically week 3. There's been a lot of games played already. We had the whole gold season played as well. Now, I think gold had different strategies in some way, but let's see what happens. So let's just break. Let me just remind everyone why I think Dravidians are so strong, and it's how they utilize their bonuses. You have you get 10 pop from the 2 docks, so it's 5 pop per dock, so that helps with flexibility, not needing as many houses, thus saving wood for fishing ships. But it's the plus 200 wood you get when you arrive to the next age that really makes a difference with them. Essentially, both are going to be going fast castle here, and Dravidians are going to have 400 more wood to play around with. Which means that it is easiest for them to go towards a barracks build and a stable build towards the middle because those are additional buildings. And we've seen that be really, really strong here. Now, I mean, the Italians are by no means bad. The Italians are fantastic. They've got the cheaper dock techs, cheaper fishing ships, cheaper to go up to each age. And I do prefer the Italians massively in terms of like mid-castle age onwards. I think the concern here for Ganji is going to be, have you lost map control due to, you know, all the buildings that JorDan could build? But, you know, if JorDan doesn't utilize that extra wood to go for the build that I mentioned, suddenly I'm like, I'm all in on Italians here. And it's interesting build from Ganji. Ganji's gone up to 12 fishing ships. This is more than I've seen in all of Titans League thus far. Usually players are going up to like 10. JorDan's even adding a whole lot more as well. So they're going to both have a lot more food to play around with. Meaning that Fast Imperial is a bit more of a possibility even if you don't land the starting island. Really, you know, adding the fishing ships is great. It really just comes down to, are you still going to have the wood for the buildings you want? So, like, there's the blacksmith, there's the market. That's well executed here from Ganji. JorDan's going to be up here in a second. But JorDan's going to have a ton of wood. So I think what JorDan could do is he could queue up ships while also making the buildings. Because clearly he doesn't want to go for the barracks here. Let's see. Are you going to spend that wood? This is a civ bonus. We got the market. We got the blacksmith. We've got the wood. He's making ships. Okay, so it's like... It's pretty decent for JorDan. JorDan's also going to get loom. Because eventually he wants to transport. And Ganji maybe wasn't quite there to click up. Actually sold 100 stone. That's notable. That's notable. And... Yes. Ganji says, being rushed. Oh, because JorDan is here scouting with a fishing ship. Classic. That's funny. It was like, why are they taunting? Well, this is something players used to do years and years ago in Migration, because you have so many fishing ships. And you kind of get to see how many docks your opponent has, where it's located. So that's pretty funky stuff. And I love how Ganji reacted to that, even tries to attack the fishing ship. But yeah, that fishing ship is likely going to make it all the way back home. And JorDan's the one who's queued up a transport for now. JorDan's going to send the villagers out here. And again, 14 fishing ships versus 13. They both have gone crazy with the fish here. And there's now the barracks for Ganji. See, Ganji is doing this, guys, because he is concerned that JorDan is doing the build that I said would perform so well. I think we might even see, JorDan showing signs of a extended water play here. As he will now dock this area. This is helpful to protect this choke. He is also adding the barracks as well. Here comes the first fire galley for Ganji. Ganji will be up 30 seconds faster. Yeah, Ganji is extremely paranoid. There will be scouts out on the field. So he's not transporting yet for that reason. And Ganji's going to have to wait, though. But look at the food counts for both of them, though. This is pretty ridiculous food counts. Both players would love a win today for different reasons. Ganji, if he gets a win, he's competing for the playoffs. He's in a good position. JorDan, he wants to just feel more comfortable. I mean, I think, you know, even if JorDan wins 2-1 here, it's still not quite the spot he would want to be after 2 weeks. But neither player can justify getting 3-0'd here. And this play all three. There's the stable for JorDan. I do feel like the order in which this is placed, even the positioning of it, is a little awkward. Shows some, you know, inexperience from JorDan, perhaps. But the idea is there. We could have had the scouts out a lot earlier. But here he defends nicely. Over here on this side, we're going to see the first fishing ship go down. That's our first kill of the game. Well played, Ganji. And JorDan's going to be able to attempt to match this here in a second. And better micro for Ganji at the moment as he gets another kill there. And it's going to back away. And this fire is going to be able to make it by and maybe kill another fishing ship. Right here, this fire is also trying to squeak by. That seems intentional here. Just to try and find some fish. You do sacrifice some Navy numbers if that happens. Ganji making scouts from his island. Again, because of there be massive concerns he could ever do it in the middle at all against the Dravidians. Nice defense there from JorDan. Nice defense there from JorDan. JorDan gets kills. And now Ganji's going to come to the middle. It's a very close game thus far. JorDan losing one fishing ship's not a big deal at all. If anything, Ganji losing a couple fire ships could be a concern. But there was a kill. And transport ship still ferrying villagers over. Second TC here for JorDan. Here comes Ganji with villagers and with scouts. He's got enough scouts to match JorDan's scouts as JorDan is on the prowl right now. This is why I think Dravidians are superior. Because of how easy it is for them to get into the Navy in combination with the buildings. But, I mean, if Ganji... I don't like how risky he's being, but if he doesn't get spotted here, he'll be okay. Right now, he's gone light cap, but he doesn't know that JorDan's out here, and JorDan's going to see the TC. Ganji, you've got a wall in your vills here. And he actually does. And I think he may have spotted this over here. He actually spots a monk from JorDan, but they're all very distracted right now. They've got the Navy. JorDan notices. Ganji runs away. They were looking at this. Fishing ship's going down for Ganji. And he didn't group up his units all together here, so Ganji's struggling, but he's also trying to find kills here. There's a lot happening at the same time. But this is better for JorDan, in my opinion, because these fires and the demo were, like, kind of stuck. And the TC is going to get denied, but Ganji gets the quick walls down. Whoa. Okay, so he hadn't fully built the palisades, or maybe JorDan destroyed one. And more villagers come across here from Ganji. You really got to get Loom here, though, guys. I don't think that's a crazy statement. Research Loom if you're going to be out here. Clearly, you're expecting there to be scouts. So maybe click the Loom upgrade. It's possible he forgot. But Eco KD is greater for JorDan. JorDan had the second town center up faster. JorDan has more fishing ships working. And this is Dravidians, man. It's just easier to play. You just get more ships, more buildings out, and all due to the plus, you know, the extra wood you get. JorDan in a great position here to look for his first win. 20 kills, 8 deaths. And Ganji just now completes his TC. JorDan will obviously be very aware of that, though. JorDan going to move out here with the light cap. When you think about a player like JorDan as well, you don't really think of any particular moment in a game. It's being smooth the whole way through a game. And I think Dravidians offer that on Migration. Usually, it used to be Italians, right? It used to be Italians. That's what Italians did really well. But this Dravidian, and I think the only civ that can do it, Japanese meta, that evolved from gold is really hard to stop. Because in gold, guys, everyone was just going monks in the middle. No one was adding scouts. Things have changed since. Ganji's in trouble here, I think. Like, he's really in trouble. He's going to go double monastery against someone who's going light cap. That's not how the game should work. It's not how the game should work at all. This is a player who... he's going to try and go for a heavy risk play and hope he could do something, because he can't afford to catch up on the scouts. He can't afford to play the same game as JorDan anymore. 9 fishing ships killed in this game by JorDan. Might have been 8 fishing ships, then he killed that one villager. But JorDan's just going to sit on this hill, and he's going to chill out. And also, he's on stone at home now, so he might be thinking, instead of a third town center, which I'd still like to see him do, personally, like a third TC over here could be good. But I think his main focus now, since he's ahead, is stay ahead, push the middle area with siege. In TTL 4, we will see only spearmen in the middle to snipe the scouts. Well, the spearmen are slow, so that's going to be the main concern with that. But some players have been adding spearmen when they bring their villagers across. You still don't have an answer to, like, monks then. You still don't have an answer to kill vills, which is why I think people end up on light cav. Good snipes here from Ganji. He's not going to complain about this, sniping a couple monks. It is weird, though, that his decision here is to go for monks against light cav himself. He's a player who has a lot of faith in monks, but this is desperation play. If this actually worked, just YOLOing monks against someone who already had 6 light cav, if this actually worked, we would need to see a balance change like yesterday. I know there's a lot of complaining about monks from some players, but I personally feel as though there needs to be more instances where players go light cav, and that is something that the meta has turned into here, and I think we're seeing it work quite well. JorDan's just got to make sure he doesn't lose his light cav to the TC here, because the light cav coming out from Ganji could actually be a concern. Ganji's actually going to add a knight, which is a smart move if you don't see any monks from your opponent now. But guys, JorDan's still in a really nice position. Ganji struggled for balance this game. He's struggled ever since the opening, and You can tell he took a little bit of a risk initially. There's the knight. This is a nice play. This could actually put the siege push to bed. Unless that monk gets here from JorDan. Oh, JorDan blocking. Oh, that's a really good play from JorDan. JorDan's going to keep the siege alive. Knight has to back away. Yeah, and I also want to add, I think this is just a really clean game from JorDan. I have my opinions on the civs, of course, and I was surprised to see Dravidians left so late. But, you know, not everyone agrees with me on strategy, and JorDan, I think, has just he's played more crisp and played more clean here. The whole way through. This is not the JorDan we saw in the first rounds. This is a JorDan who clearly watched some games. JorDan is going to save all of his siege. No, he loses one. I think this castle could even be more bold. Like, I think there's no reason why the castle can't be here. But, you know, this is a safe castle. And you might take out the TC anyways. And this game is looking pretty close to over at this point. First game of the series. It's a play all three. Ganji might need to warm up a little bit more, and you definitely want to play it out because a lot of crazy things can happen. Ganji will know that he will have killed some of JorDan's fish. He'll maybe think that like this TC position is really awkward for JorDan. It doesn't offer much for him. We're going to see another TC there. But ultimately, the engagements have been so much better for JorDan, and I do think it comes back to having the earlier numbers and having the earlier light cap. The earlier scouts. Everything was just that much more smooth, that much more flexible. A couple fires over here from JorDan. Not that big a deal anymore, right? It's just 7 fishing ships versus, well, it's 15 for JorDan. Obviously, that's a pretty big deal. But at this point, you will have transitioned into farms a little bit more than you did. And Imp is now on the way for JorDan. So, you know, Ganji played great in the first round. Those wins were important, but they're going to be even more important if he starts to drop games here against JorDan. I forget what I predicted for this group. I think I had predicted 2-1 win for JorDan in this series. But I mean, right now, I think Lan is in 6th place in this group. He's 0-6. So I definitely had... Pretty sure I had predicted Lan would be relegated. But who would I have predicted would be 5th in this group? I wouldn't have put JorDan in the relegation zone. I wouldn't have put Hera there. There would have had to have been Ganji or Barles then, right? Or freaking Andy. In all honesty, I might have put freaking Andy. Who's currently at 5 wins. I mean, that's been one crazy story. JorDan took out this TC and rolls in underneath this one to see a castle. But I mean... You really, if you're not going to be the Imperial Age, you're really still going to have some big problems as JorDan goes by the castle, tries to kill a monk. And just going to add a couple buildings here. JorDan's got crazy eco. Res collected. He's so far ahead. And he will continue to be ahead because he still has more workers. So it's not going to get any better. You put JorDan based on his last performance. I didn't do prediction. I did predictions before I saw JorDan's performance. Like my actual prediction. Now, this is a good find for Ganji, who has continued to fight back on water. That has not stopped. But JorDan has always had enough to compete as JorDan transitions towards land. Statafrax saying T90 prediction was 2-1 for JorDan. Yeah, we never really did. The prediction thing was more so based on all the results. So I guess in order to know who I predicted to be relegated, you would have to look at all my predictions for the group, which would be too much of a pain. I think I would have predicted Andy. Which obviously makes me look like a fool right now. Because Andy's doing so well, but anything's still possible. But I did make the statement that based on JorDan's performance in the first round, that he was looking like one of the favorites to be relegated. This is more along the same lines of what we've seen from JorDan in the past. He's got fast fire ship now. He has another castle coming up. This can't be stopped. He's got Trebs on the way. These Trebs can take out all of the eco in the castle there from Ganji. I think Ganji sees this. I think he knows he has a very slight chance. He's going to hope to deny this, but that mango could ruin it, and that's why he's trying to force the issue here. Genoese crossbowman, not really a unit you want to use against the siege. And now we see Ganji thinking, okay, I've got to get in. which is great thinking. But unfortunately, too many steps behind here, I think, for him. Because by the time you make it to Imp, you will have lost all of these town centers and this castle. He's going to make another castle. So he still has a castle by the time he gets it up to Imp. He's going to try and dock here, stream a couple fires in to kill some fish from JorDan. Guys, JorDan has looped the whole way around and fished through it all. Do you see this? That's so sick. I love a good redock. There's something satisfying about it. You just get so much more value from your fishing ships if you do it that way instead of fish trapping. Imp is on the way for Ganji. It's in this TC, so he should make it there. But I still feel like this is bad enough where we might even see him call it before then. Again, having played in tourney sets before, especially in the first game, sometimes you just play it out a bit longer. It feels like you're kind of getting the feeling of losing out of your system before you move on to the next game. If you just resign early, so to speak, I mean, you should never resign early, but it's better for me to have completely forgotten about game number 1 by the time I enter the lobby for game number 2, and playing out game number 1 a little bit longer past the point of where I'm dead. It sometimes gives me a little bit more hope. Now, I've got a lot of faith in JorDan. And, you know, we are also assuming that JorDan's going to do everything correctly here. And he's been a little slow with the skirmishers. I feel like the skirms could have... Some of these upgrades could have come in faster. And 40 seconds away from Imp for Ganji. Ganji's got 93 eco versus JorDan's 104. Ganji has stone. He has gold. JorDan, I think, has also felt there's no way I can lose this game. So he's been doing all the small things, maybe. But would have expected to have seen chemistry a bit earlier from him so we could make bombard cannons, too. Dravidian skirmishers are really strong. Yeah, I mean, JorDan is going to surround the starting island, so Ganji can't really ever leave there, which is a problem. No cav for JorDan. What's stopping Ganji from making rams against Trebs? A couple Yurumi swordsmen come out of the castle, and then the rams will go down. There's also the mangonel, the potential to see it from large distances, so you can add another mangonel. So rams wouldn't really work here. Players are too good. They would pull villagers to attack. But looks like Ganji wants to go onager here. Okay, Ganji. These monks don't walk on water, and they also can't convert things from the shoreline. And Ganji's transporting the starting island from JorDan. Never give up. Never give up. Let's go. A couple condos here could be a real pain for JorDan. We might actually see him drop a castle here. I can see a lot of players doing that. Meanwhile, JorDan's Trebs are exposed. JorDan probably has noticed what's happened. And now he's losing his trebuchets. Are you kidding me? JorDan's had a ridiculous lead in this game. He never really forced the issue. And these are not onagers. These are just mangonels that JorDan still has not found an answer to. He's making the bombard cannons now. Could have happened a long time ago. Now, JorDan's got galleons, so he's got a lot of navy control, but the condos are coming in, and this could find kills. Ultimately, there's not any stone or gold here anymore, but still, and JorDan now notices now he wants to drop a castle. So I think this is the right play from him to drop the castle here, but pretty wild to me we're in this situation at all. Pretty wild that JorDan's castle is currently being trebbed down. Pretty wild he now no longer has the stone to repair said castle because he just placed this castle due to the condo raids. We're going to see a castle go up for Ganji. You might need to consider murder holes because I think some of these fires could actually sit underneath it. But Ganji's still putting up a fight here, guys, and well played to him. Can JorDan stabilize this? It feels like he should be able to. He's got so much control over this game. And it was just the bombard cannons he was waiting on. He's going to take one of the Trebs. We do see murder holes for Ganji because of these fires. This is kind of annoying, but murder holes isn't going to hurt. And this raid probably is useless now, so I think Ganji will stop producing from the condos. This fight's going to shift back towards the center island. But the distraction was really nice, right? The condo potential is great. He's running out of space, but he still has access to every resource except stone. Still believe that JorDan hasn't done enough with this position here. But he's got a castle fallback, and he's able to fall back. And he's actually going to land skirmishers right now to the starting island of Ganji, which Ganji would have no answer to. I also would really like to see... Oh, yeah, this is good. JorDan's got Trebs on the opposite shoreline. That's huge. I was going to say cannon galleons. But yeah, that's a great decision from JorDan. It still feels like JorDan just has to defend here. You just hold against this, which you can do with your own cannons and skirms, and you're okay. But he's distracted, guys. He just lost both of his bomber cannons. Ganji's putting up a real fight. That's Ganji's opportunity. He's got 4 bomber cannons. He's got 2 Trebs. Don't tell me JorDan loses this position. Shout out to these fishing ships in the north, by the way. A shout out to these skirms that have now landed the starting island from Ganji. Ganji, don't even worry about that, dude. Don't even worry about that. You bring your Trebs and you bring your cannons and you push this area now. JorDan's going for elite cannon galleon to try and have cannon galleons on the sides of the water, which is a good decision. But ideally, he would have done that in combination with a winning position in the middle. He's got the worst army right now. That said, Duridian skirms are no joke. Another siege weapon goes down for JorDan. This is why you fight. All that mumbo jumbo I said earlier about, oh, well, it's the first game. This is why you fight, right? We assume pro players are going to do things properly. That's not always going to be the case, even with the biggest names. However, boom, 2 cannons go down for Ganji. Ganji's still trying to push, needs to repair these cannons. Villagers hopped in and out of the castle to get to the right position, and we know JorDan's just looking here now, right? But JorDan's actually paying attention here. He also has the elite cannon galleon now. This is an epic play, though. Look at the range on that bad boy. That means the Treb will go down for Ganji. If there's another cannon galleon on the other side, the other Treb could go down. No ballistics for JorDan, so those villagers are just walking by. That might remind JorDan that he doesn't have ballistics, if he didn't already realize. And JorDan seemingly holding right now. Yep, I think he realized because he's not shooting these units. Ballistics is such an important upgrade. And GG's just called now from Ganji. I think Ganji realizes I've got Navy on either side of me. I've got skirms in my main eco. My eco's a mess here, and I'm going to lose this castle. But it was a good fight from Ganji, honestly. I think you even get a little bit of confidence from that. Like, oh, wow, it took him a long time to kill me. As long as I don't fall further behind, we're going to be good in the future games here. So JorDan gets his first win in the second season. Great start to the series for him. Again, I really feel like he utilized the bonus of the Dravidians and getting all those buildings out early. And I think Dravidians is #1 migration civ. I think it is. I'm shocked that we didn't see Ganji pick it. He picked Italians and then Japanese. Obviously, they're both really good as well. That's like the 4th time I've seen Dravidians win in a row, at least in Platinum. Players in this league seem to be doing a really good job of utilizing them. JorDan with more wood, food, gold collected. We knew that. Ganji had a little bit more stone, but ultimately he just lacked map control. And I think it was still a good performance from Ganji because he had fallen so far behind. I think the KD was 20-7 or 20-8 at one point. And those were in crucial areas like on water and on land. The fact that this game turned into what it was is a positive for Ganji. Yeah, good start here for JorDan. All right, friends. So here we are, game number 2. We're a little bit underway. I apologize for not giving it a true introduction at this point, but I'm sure you guys can forgive me. JorDan won the first game. He played very well. And then coming into this game, Ganji's home map, I think JorDan utilized some epic mind games here. So JorDan's very first pick, I'm going to pan out to it because it's important. His very first pick was the Cumans. Okay? A civilization that goes for 2 town centers in feudal age and needs to be pressured heavily. One of the best civilizations to pressure that, in my opinion, is the Aztecs. And that's why Ganji chose the Aztecs. But then later on in the draft, JorDan picked Turks, which is where we find ourselves now. I think JorDan baited Ganji into going for the Aztecs because Turks play out very nicely against the Aztecs. At least that's what many people seem to think. Okay? So, JorDan Turks here. This is the wall. You've got that neutral wall through the middle. And then on this side, obviously, we've got Ganji. There's 3 relics on both sides. There's some wolves that can disrupt you if you want to be around that area. But very commonly, we're seeing forward castles. But very commonly, we're seeing monks. And so, both civilizations pretty good at that. Monks, just fantastic for the Aztecs. But if you want to go for lots of monks, you might need to consider something else with it, because the Turks do get the light cab upgrade for free. As we saw in game number 1, light cab a really good addition up against the monks. So, again, even more mind games. Like, mind games coming into the civilization selection here, because I think Ganji was expecting JorDan to go humans, and then he's like, oh, he played me. He's gone Turks. And then I think mind games in the game itself, because you really want to go monks with Aztecs, but your opponent might go light cab, but your opponent might not go light cab. They could go Janissary as well. If it was standard arena, I think we would just see light cav, but the thing here is you can't just make light cav and compete for the map. You actually would need to make light cav and siege to take down the walls. So it's a further investment into map control. All right, just going to hydrate here a little bit. I like what Ganji's doing. This tells us he's going to at least make one monk, because he's using the eagle to bring in the boar. I think it's underrated. I think everyone could do that, because players are normally making monks or a castle. So you could heal inside the castle, or you could just heal up with a monk. As long as you don't lose the eagle, obviously, that would be devastating. But well played from Ganji. It allows him to have a more efficient economy, and that could be important here. Yeah, so I see Matt now understands how the draft works. So for other people, just to be clear, migration, even though it's been game number 1 in a bunch of sets, it's not set that way. The order of the bans, the order of the draft for the maps for this event, at least for group stage, it's ban for one player, ban for another. So ban, then pick, and then it's ban. Basically, you ban until there's one map remaining. And then the map remaining is game number 1. And a lot of players, they're not picking migration as a home map, but they seem pretty comfortable playing it, so they're never banning it. So we've seen migrate a lot. Yeah, that's a good point. You can also heal the eagle inside the TC, but honestly, why do that when you can just use the weak eagle to scout the map, and then the monk heals it up so much faster? Also, I find it really annoying when I have the eagle healing up inside the TC, because anytime I send a villager to a different area, the eagle hops out as well. But I think Turks are superior here, guys. I really think JorDan... It's easier to play with the Turks. I think JorDan's going to have a really strong freaking unit, and he's got 4 on stone right now, which is a little bit more than you typically see with these types of builds. But I think he should be able to pull off a decent fast castle here. We'll see. Started taking the boars earlier like we see the pros do. Crazy how much faster it is to go up to castle. I don't think pros are taking boars earlier for fast castle. It would only be for fast feudal, right? But, yeah, I mean, there used to be a time where it was like you always take this resource at this time, and the fast, nerdy Arabia builds are designed around taking the boars a little bit faster. I actually think what contributed to that was players taking their boars earlier on a map where they could be lane. And players then were like, oh, actually, this also helps. This isn't just so our board doesn't get taken. Why is it that I only see a couple of civs during TTL? Well, you're probably not watching all the sets. We see pretty good civ variety. This is the first time we've seen Turks in all of Platinum. We've seen Aztecs a couple times. There's 2 bans per player before each series, and then there's a series of picks. So there's 4 civs getting banned every time. I think the variety's been pretty good. I think on certain maps, like Migration, you're seeing the same rotation of civs. Water maps have a tendency to, like water maps and then very closed maps have the tendency to have a smaller short list of civilizations that excel. But if you want even more variety, obviously players are going to go with what works and what they feel comfortable with. And for many players, that's similar. Playoff time, when it's best of 5s, then more civs have to be played. There's best of 7s. There's different drafts. What I think has been really cool civ-wise is how we've gone from gold to plat, and we've got, I mean, I don't know how much you guys have watched, but I've watched the meta evolve. So it's like, how do I word this? So, like, strategies that players were going for in gold, players are not doing in platinum anymore because they don't think it's good. Because they got to watch players counter it eventually in gold. Coast to mountain meta has been tweaked. Migration meta, we got to, like, when migration started week 1, no one went for scouts, no one went for barracks. It was just like monks and ships. And now, you know, previous game we got to see a whole bunch of action with light cav. I think Dravidians were never seen as that solid either early on. Ganji's on stone here, guys. What in the world is this? Why would he be on stone with the Aztecs? And why no mirror? Because mirror is really bad for strategy. The way the draft works is you select different civilizations. Yeah, I think the free pick days are behind us in Age of Empires 2, with some exceptions. Free pick can be really good if you want to make sure that the player can practice the strategy and perform it every single time. But drafting is pretty much how all the tournaments go these days. Okay, so this is a little awkward, Jordan. You've run into 3 wolves here. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. I mean, he knew it was there, right? Oh, my God. He almost lost the Ville. Okay. So there's the castle. Ganji's going triple monastery. Guys, of all the strats, though, that Ganji wanted to see JorDan do, this is actually the best one. He wants this to be a castle. See, Janissaries used to have 8 range. Now they only have 7 range, and monks have 9 range. And Ganji's pretty good with monks. I think what you wouldn't want to see if you're going triple monastery is the light cab approach. JorDan could obviously, in theory, combine those two things, but it's really expensive to get to the castle. The Janissary costs food and gold. Kind of hard to have the food eco, even the wood eco right now to go for the barracks and for the stable. So this will be tough for Ganji to defend, but I definitely believe that he could do it. And also, being on stone, I think he's planning on building his own castle shortly next to these monasteries to protect them. So, obviously, Ganji knows JorDan's going to come through. He's looking to see where JorDan's coming through. JorDan's currently taking down this piece of the wall. Yep, there it is. The one light cav could obviously be a bit worrisome. JorDan has no clue what's waiting for him back here, besides that one eagle. JorDan's going to add TC number 2, so he will boom a little bit. Hoping to get a big eco lead. There are the monks. JorDan sees it. And could be a conversion. It's a light cav, though, so it shouldn't be. And now JorDan's probably like, well, crap. Like, I think JorDan sees that many monks and stops making Janissaries now. And I think what Ganji's thinking is, good. Then I drop a castle here, then I go imp. That's the thought process. This is Ganji's home map, guys. This is a map he should be pretty comfortable with. JorDan is continuing to make Janissaries right now. Unfair relic distribution? Really? How? It's the same. It's 3 relics on both sides. Right? Am I crazy? It's 3 relics on both sides. Sorry, I shouldn't have checked that, but I wanted to make sure I didn't miss something here. Ooh, JorDan really flirting with the idea of moving out here. And continues to just hop out with the light cav to annoy Ganji. It's honestly a pretty decent strategy. If you're booming on 2 TCs, you're focusing on farm count and adding eco. And the monk player, if they see you hop out of this castle nonstop, they have to respect it and they have to start something. It's kind of funny what JorDan's doing right now. Making Ganji work. And making Ganji a little paranoid, maybe. Let's see how things go. And Ganji has too many monks here. They're Aztec monks. They have more HP than your standard monks. JorDan continues to be a nerd. This is funny. This is really funny. I mean, credit to both of them, right? Knowing JorDan, he's probably chuckling about this right now. I think it's funny how JorDan's doing this, and I love how Ganji's always paying attention. Ay. Siege Workshop is an interesting addition here for Ganji. I think the reason he did it is because he wants the second building to go up to the next stage. You could do 2 of 3 buildings, so Monastery, University, or Siege Workshop, and he feels like Siege Workshop is more useful. And yeah, had he waited, or you could do that, or you can drop a castle, and the castle wouldn't have been up yet, so this is really nice thinking. Okay, so JorDan, I think this game is going to be pretty epic from here, guys. So JorDan's going to lose this castle. This castle is going to be gone. There's no doubt about it in my mind. There's no way that JorDan can keep this up. But JorDan is 47 villagers versus 39, and that might not seem like a lot, but right now he's producing out of 3 town centers, and Ganji's producing out of 0 because this TC's imping. So, yeah, it's going to be like a 30 villager lead at some point before you know it. And obviously, Res Collect is going to be pretty ridiculous for JorDan as well. Over time, obviously, Ganji's had a lot of gold. So, if you think about what Ganji's going to have, obviously, he's going to have Trebs. But then it's not just going to be Trebuchets, it's going to be monks. But you can't afford to add much more than what you have right now. Just monks, because this whole build-up is towards Treb Monk. You don't have Res. Now, I think he should foresee that there's going to be Lycav and add some spears. But even then, like, you know, you might want the pikeman upgrade, and you can't even afford that at the moment if you're Ganji. Ganji's going to get woo-woo-wooed here, and that's going to be a villager down. So, you know, Ganji seems really concerned about Lycav. He's adding gates over here for that reason. He tried to wall this way and then got woo-woo-wooed for that reason. But, you know, JorDan, I think you just stay in Castle Age and you just make non-stop Lycav. And if you trade against this one time, you take out the wave of monks and the Trebs, you win the game. A lot of players try and rush Imp here. No, I really think rushing Imp hurts you. You can actually stop this push as it stands with just Lycav. Now, here's the thing. This isn't a normal monk civ. This used to be the best monk civ. These days, there's other bonuses people think about. You get plus 5 HP on your monk per monk technology. So if Ganji just spams a bunch of monk techs and he's going to get 3, he's going to head up to having amount of HP that even competes with a Lycav. JorDan actually adding a petard there. And Ganji's going to run on by. This is smart from Ganji. And JorDan also getting Heresy now. 1,000 gold for that tech. But that's so any of the units that do get converted do not switch sides. They just die. A smart tech against all-in monks. Eagle there. Kills the monk, actually. And then, yeah, now Ganji sees how many stables are there. And Ganji should know everything except Heresy. So we should know it's all in Lycav. You don't see the monk HP matter that much these days with Aztecs. But it does matter in these types of situations. Look at JorDan. He's trying to be extra sneaky here. Petard through. He didn't know you only need 1. So, okay, he just wastes both of them. You only need 1 petard to go through these walls, guys. So that could be a really big deal. Ganji could see the Lycav. Ganji's really good with his quick gating. Does he notice this, though? Oh, man. Oh, I love it from JorDan. Oh, Ganji sees this. Quick wall's needed. Quick wall's needed. Monks are on the way back. I don't think he's going to get it. He's not going to get it. The Lycav are going to be through. Ganji still doesn't have Loom. Ganji, get Loom. What a smart play from JorDan. The pikemen now have to run. You can't focus on your push. Ganji has the house wall, palisade wall, quick wall, his whole base. No Loom. Hasn't thought about Loom. The monks are all the way back here. Loom's now on the way as he's adding all these houses. And that's pretty sick damage control, I have to say. The fact that this isn't worse is impressive. But that's a lot of idle time, and that's a lot of wasted time when you're behind by 30 villagers. And that's what JorDan wanted to accomplish here. Not necessarily getting the kills, but delaying the push. And that Lycav might end up dying here due to Heresy. And this is now Ganji saying, well, I don't want to let him delay me too much. He actually just avoids this. This is really smart. It's going to be hard for him, but it's really smart. I don't think we can be critical of it. You're like, fine. Good, then I just waltz into your base. I hope you're ready for me because I'm not waiting. I am moving forward anyways because I know what you're trying to do. Here comes JorDan again. So, you know, there's a point where JorDan does have to engage against this. And guys, look what Ganji's going to try and do. He's going to try and wall in his monks because there's only melee units. So he's going to... Actually, I think he might just be making choke points even. Yeah, I've done training games with Ganji before where he has Arbalest and he does this, and I think more people need to do it. He's now made it more difficult for JorDan to engage because of those building foundations. I mean, Ganji's economy isn't pretty right now. JorDan trying to find something. He's going to hit the villagers here soon. That's a good find. Ganji's still moving forward. You really have to find town centers, and you have to find stables to hit here. Good work from JorDan. 50 villager lead. He's got 30 light cap. But has he engaged against these monks yet? No. If he didn't have heresy, this would be a problem. Because the monks could, in theory, convert 16 military units over to the other side. The fact that JorDan has heresy means that I think you could take some pretty poor engagements against these monks and still be okay. This would be an awesome bounce-back game for JorDan. It would be amazing for Ganji to be able to tack onto the wins that he already got in the first round. This is a ridiculous game, guys. This is so smart. This is so smart. If you're in open field, you die. He knows JorDan's, like, he's taken out the stables, but it's awfully quiet around here. So he knows JorDan might be coming in at some point. Still has villagers working. JorDan just decides to attack the lumber camp. JorDan waiting. He just wants to get as big a mass as possible before he actually goes for this. And JorDan sees the gate foundations. I like the forging upgrade. Good work. Ganji with the new lumber camp. Ganji's fine at home. This is fine. Meme. The monks, they make so much noise. I'm sure it's really not fun for JorDan to see this, but JorDan doesn't have to worry about units abandoning him and switching sides. So he's going to take the fight. A lot of conversions come in, but there's more light cav on the way, and the monks are not fully surrounded because Ganji had to advance. And because Ganji had to advance, this could be problematic now. You cannot add more monks here. It is too expensive. You've invested your whole game into this plan. And I think with this, JorDan will actually be able to take the game, guys. The Trebs are going to be taken out. Amazing hold from JorDan here. I mean, yes, there's some pikes, but JorDan's actually been adding some cav archers for that. And JorDan should be able to get the numbers up. JorDan's still in Castle Age, obviously, so maybe Ganji still got some hope. But that's the moment right there where usually the all-ins fail. It was a build-up towards the pikes and the Trebs. What an important addition, though, from JorDan to go for the side raid with the Petard. The Petard bust was an epic part of this. I actually think Ganji then had an epic response to still push forward. But what you usually want is you want that everything Ganji had there and you want a castle next to it, not the stone gates. He didn't have the stone for a castle, so he opted for protection. And now I think from here, JorDan can actually think about clicking up to the Imperial Age. And Ganji actually has kind of re-walled this. This is still open, actually, but JorDan's still hoping to run through here, and Ganji's just still walling him constantly. Yeah, now it feels like you've done enough to justify the Imperial Age, right? You're not under any constant threat anymore. These light cav here finally going to be dealt with. That's good for Ganji. But, oh man, JorDan was able to break through, and JorDan's going to have another force here. Oh, jeez. Great game from JorDan here, guys. And the GG's called. Now, honestly, I think this all comes back to the very start. I really do think that Aztecs struggle against the Turks. And JorDan wanted this matchup. And he drafted Cumans first. Ganji felt, oh god, I could just go siege Eagle Monk and kill the Cumans while they're in Feudal Age. Nope. So, if you were to ask these players, you would say that I think they would prefer Turks in this matchup. JorDan somehow drafted a position where he had the quote-unquote better civ. Obviously, Aztecs are still really good. But he ended up having the superior civilization or a more comfortable civilization to play on his opponent's home map. Classic drafting stuff there from JorDan. And then classic response against all-in there. I loved that. Again, light cav versus monks seems to be a theme in this series. JorDan up 2-0. And so all the positive things we said about Ganji starts to wither away a little bit. So, you know, in terms of his position right now. So here's what I feel. It goes back to the normal conversation when you're up against a big name now, Ganji. Get one win. You get one win from this. You avoid getting swept. You're comfortable. Because then that would take him to 3 wins out of the first 2 rounds. He gets 3-0'd here. He then drops down to bottom of the group. And obviously still has some really big names left to play. JorDan collected 32,000 more resources. So you can clearly see the downside of the all-inning, right? It has to work all the time. You're very vulnerable. But yeah, well played. I think more people need to petard bust like that. I think there's probably 1 or 2 names that are like, oh yeah, it's just 1 petard. I think a lot of guys are just not used to it. JorDan made 2 because normally on Arena, the walls go up to 1800 HP in Castle Age. And on this map, they stay at 1000 HP, so just 1 petard is always enough. That could happen a lot more frequently. Seriously. I'm surprised we don't see a little bit more, because a lot of players are making castles. All right, so here we are. JorDan, I'm going to switch him back to yellow, because that's what he did for the first game. We're going to keep things consistent. We have the Lithuanians for JorDan. We have the Byzantines then for Ganji. Now, this map is Spiral. This map has produced some epic games. We've seen Byzantines and Lithuanians win on this map. But the other thing that's interesting about this is that for like the first month and a half, it felt like we'd always have the water be close to players. Seems like the last 2 weeks, the berries have been closer to players. We have not changed anything about the map. There's always a chance that this happens. And I looked into it because I was, the frequency in which the berries were closer to the players kind of startled me a little bit. I thought maybe a patch affected it or something. And we looked into it, and there's just always a chance. So I think the fact that, this has happened so many times is interesting. It does mean that the players will have to walk a little bit further to dock, but usually we've seen players still end up doing that. Now, I actually forgot. Our base brings it up. Humans had always done really well on this map as well. So I talked about the draft. I think JorDan picking humans might have also made Ganji feel as though humans could be here. So the humans were just like a really epic mind game. I don't think Ganji changed his approach for this map because of the existence of humans on the draft, but it definitely worth thinking about. Ganji, right now, he has scouted this side for the water. He's going to have 5 on wood, so he's definitely going to be thinking about a dock. JorDan actually went to wood a little bit earlier, and he's going to bring 2 villagers to dock. This is, again, I think JorDan being better prepared for the maps. I think this is really smart. You send 2 vills, and both players have to walk quite a distance around the wood line. Both players will find a decent position for that dock. But yeah, it changes things because your dock villagers are more vulnerable now because the water being further away. But then the berries and the deer are more of a given. Like, you would not see players normally pushing in these deer. But the fact that you can do that does help you in some ways. I don't like sending a villager without loom to go dock. I feel like this is established at this point. That if you have a no unloomed villager, that villager is going to go down. This is why JorDan sends 2 of them. And JorDan's teching the pond. And JorDan, oh, is he going to double back? Oh, man, I mean, if he doubled back, he would obviously find that dock and find that villager. But he may feel like I already checked now. And Ganji doesn't know it, but he just got away with one there. And he's actually bringing the second vill. Not only would the villager have died, but the dock would have been delayed. So you wouldn't be down just 1 villager. You would be down multiple villagers. Or multiple eco units because the fishing ships would have been delayed by a bit as well. So good scouting there from JorDan. Obviously just a bit unlucky with the timing. He may now think that Ganji doesn't dock at all. But he should also know that being Lithuanians typically get the docks up a little bit faster. JorDan's build looks smooth, man. Like, the timing on everything looks so good. It's not bad for Ganji, but like, Ganji hasn't bringing in his second boar yet. He's going to go do that. Byzantines don't have the plus 100 food at the start, which you can then snowball into being on wood a bit faster and then fishing even faster to then bring in more food. Like, Byzantines can't do what JorDan's doing with the Lithuanians right now. What Byzantines do well is they defend well. Cheap skirms, cheap spears, cheap camels, cheap counter units the whole way through. And it feels like this civilization's really hard to stop once it's Castle Age and beyond. But Lithuanians definitely have more of a peak in terms of what's possible. JorDan is up. JorDan's looking really solid right now. Very confident as well. I don't know if he lacked confidence in the first series, but it looked like he might have. And wow, even that, blocking with the fishing ship. So he's able to get 2 hits there on Ganji's scout. So scouts are going to trade HP right now. Obviously, Ganji's scout would lose this fight. I think Ganji is going to weaken this scout and then run away. It'd be very weird for him to just lose this. Huh? Okay, well, he maybe waited a little too long. I mean, in all fairness, had JorDan followed him wherever he would have gone, it's very... I mean, JorDan would have killed the scout anyways, so now at least JorDan's scout is weak, so this can't kill a villager. Yeah, Ganji, he's intentionally taking JorDan away from crucial areas to scout so he can do this, guys. I'm going to wait till the scout dies. Okay, this. He's placed a dock where he can kill the fishing ships from JorDan. Now, JorDan's making a fire galley in defense already, which is smart. But remember, JorDan hasn't scouted this, so he doesn't know that Ganji's on water. Okay, but he is going to make more scouts here with a nice little scout opening, which I think is awesome. Really smart how players do this. They don't even make mining camps because they're not really going to be on gold for that long. They just walk back and forth to get enough gold for the fire galleys. Again, we'll see the fire galley eventually for Ganji, but this uptime is just insane. So, in a 1v1 on water, the Byzantine fire should win anyways. But JorDan does have villagers here to repair, so we'll see what happens. I think, honestly, you've already gained close to enough from the fish. As long as you keep the fish alive for the next 2 minutes, you're transitioning into other things economically anyways. He's heading out with his control to the berries, to the deer. It feels so fast for JorDan, everything he's doing. He does know that there's a dock there from Ganji. He now knows there's a dock here from Ganji. And Ganji, he forgot about these two villagers. Ganji's just not... It's not clicking for him right now. I feel like it's just... Obviously, Lithuanians are faster. But at least he realizes, and it dawns on him as he quickly saves these villagers. That's impressive. That could have been worse. But the barracks is just now going to be completed, so he needs to wait for some spearmen. He cannot freely move out to the deer or those berries right now. So villagers just going to go back to work for now. Well, nice damage control from Ganji. They'll also add a fire galley here. JorDan will be looking for damage. JorDan waiting, perhaps, with this. I think Ganji's even been pretty patient here, too. With 2 fires versus 2, anything could happen. JorDan scouting the vills. Sees the vills are kind of exposed. But JorDan scouts checking the berries. He's not going to see anything happening near the berries. It's just full walls for Ganji. Ganji's got the spears prepared. Well played there. And yeah, like, guys, honestly, this is how you would expect this to play out. Low-risk game with Byzantines, playing towards water, and then walling up. Whereas the Lithuanians have the potential long-term, or they have the potential early, so they're going to be more aggressive. But as rough as it looked for a moment there for Ganji, I think he's done a pretty good job. He can't repair here because the villager is exposed, but he defends nicely. He kills the scouts. This isn't too bad. Remember, they're both fishing right now, so it's not like, you know, Ganji's worse off in this position. And the villager still survives. 4-2 KD for Ganji. Is Ganji fast castled? No. There's a lot of feud age investment. Spearmen, fires. Both players want to go castle age, but it's not a fast castle. They would have clicked up by now. JorDan, great job, though, keeps his fires alive. And thus his fish alive, and then he's allowed to take the berries, take the deer. I want to show res collected. Probably a lot more wood for JorDan. But food collected still pretty even, which is interesting. No farms yet for Ganji is a worrying sign for me. I feel like he definitely could have done a bit more of that. JorDan started to farm. JorDan, again, has the deer and the berries. I prefer JorDan's economic position, but he lost most of his scouts, which is sloppy. He will not be happy about that. I honestly think, like, both players should stop producing here on water at this point. But JorDan, especially if he starts to lose. I mean, JorDan, the thing is, instinctively, you're going to want to produce more. JorDan's clearly distracted elsewhere right now. I don't know what he looked at, but he's losing his fires. But my thing is like, you don't have any fish left here, JorDan. Like, you're just finishing your food. So maybe you just give it up. I don't know. As a player, you never feel like giving up a position, though. The skirmisher edition from JorDan's out here for any of the spears that might be out there for Ganji. Ganji's still got 180 food left there. And we have a stable for Ganji, a market. I think he's feeling the pinch in terms of res. I think we might see him sell his stone to buy food. Here's the demo. JorDan wants to use the demo. It's a decent enough demo. Might allow him to protect these 3 fishing ships, which are just on a little bit of food. Might even see a scout addition from Ganji just to push back the skirms, but it feels like Castle Age might be more important. He's actually open here. Like, this is wide open. Neither player noticed. There was a couple gaps. I want to show res collected just one more time. It's got to be better for JorDan. Yeah, way better for JorDan here. And we will see Ganji add the scouts for map control. And again, we've got a villager out here. This guy could quick wall like the best of them, but there's going to be the skirmishers then. So your villager's going to go down. Just Ganji, it's not firing on all cylinders today, right? It's just not clicking. Like, villager being exposed there is very weird. And now he's adding more scouts. JorDan's on the way to Castle Age. JorDan will be very happy with how this game has played out. So my prediction was 2-1. I felt like Ganji's good enough to get a win on his home map. Didn't get a win in the previous game. JorDan's mind game with the Cumans pick extended into from Zawal all the way to here, I think, because Cumans, at least in gold, were like 5-0 on this map. I think they've only been picked one time in Platinum, and I think they lost. Ganji was the one who picked Cumans, actually. That even adds to it. Ganji picked Cumans and lost to them. But still, he was the one who had picked them in round 1 against Barrels. Ganji clicks up to the Castle Age. He'll be a bit later. Having additional scouts, though, isn't hurt. Especially against the Lithuanians, when the Lithuanians will likely go for relics. And JorDan pretty heavy on stone here. I think he might be considering Latus as his unit choice. But he won't have the stone to be able to do that right away. Okay, and he's now going to buy stone. Wow. Interesting choice. I mean, Latus are a really strong unit. I think they have the highest DPS of any Castle Age unit, and maybe even Imperial Age unit. They ignore armor, and they have ridiculous damage output. Obviously, to get most out of the damage, you want to get relics with Lithuanians, but still. Both players have been able to adapt to the generation pretty nicely. Ganji shows up here with some scouts to try and kill a fishing ship, and nope. Amazing from JorDan. Scout's still looking around. JorDan, not a big deal if he loses the fishing ship, but it's my job. He kills the fishing ship. JorDan patrolling here, wondering if Ganji will maybe make a TC here, which I think he will consider. And JorDan will drop a castle at home. So he goes monastery. He could have gone forward with it, but I like this castle. You go monastery, castle. This does delay your town centers. Pretty considerably, right? I think JorDan could have gone for a second TC right away. Like, Ganji's going for a second TC right away. And so Ganji could catch up economically in that regard. But then Ganji won't have a Latus. I wanted to see the relics Ganji scouted. So he scouted this one. What about JorDan, actually? JorDan knows about this one. This will probably be the first one he goes to. He's actually headed to the middle. A little risky, and I'm not sure if he knows that Ganji still has the scouts out. Lycav upgrade for JorDan. 3rd game in a row we see Lycav. Should this be more of a trend, guys, when people are going for monks so frequently? JorDan able to protect that monk. I think Ganji was just kind of forgot about that one, wanted to go over here. And you could see him maybe thinking about going over here to snipe monks as well. Ganji does not know his opponent will have Latus, but he would otherwise assume knights. So I think adding camels is the best move anyways. And Spearman headed over here from JorDan. Guys, JorDan's playing really smart today. Like, he's really thinking about things. He's thinking ahead. Everything's clicking for him. And great kill there. And TC in the middle. Fascinating spot for that. He is running low on gold. Usually those TCs are going to go over to the side, so you're less vulnerable and you don't get pushed. Latest 13 base attack. Ignores armor from the opponent. Really strong. And Ganji doesn't even know they're out there yet. He actually sent another scout over here. Jordan chasing down the camels. Ganji should know. And wow, that monk converted instantly. Because it had never lost its initial conversion, which is a really controversial thing right now, I think after a certain point, those monks got to just somehow lose it. They're old, man. They shouldn't be able to remember like that. But, you know, monks are just kind of weird and how they operate. JorDan, he will defend his villagers there on the TC. JorDan, I think, has done a pretty good job in terms of relic control. However, res collected, it's pretty close, and it's 3 TCs for Ganji. I like Ganji's eco upgrades. I like his farm count. I like his civ. JorDan being late to expanding economically. It's led to him having more army. But if that army can be defended from, if Ganji can hold with some monks of his own and some camels, we'll see how things play out. Okay, confident JorDan quick walls this. Oh, he's confident. Bam. And a bam. And a bam. JorDan wants that third victory here. Lazy, tired JorDan. JorDan that doesn't have faith doesn't quick wall that. God, man. JorDan's latest ball is pretty insane for Castle Age at this stage of the game. He's got 8 latest right now. No bloodlines. No blacksmith upgrades. These are all things that should come in, but they'll probably eventually come in, right? Ganji's gone for the more typical TC positions, though. But then again, the amount he has on food is skewed because it's just 39 on food. 19 of that's berries right now. He will need farms eventually, which JorDan has been expanding into. But even JorDan's farm count's not that great. 10 of his villagers on food are here. But it just becomes so complicated for Ganji. Your opponent's got a TC and a castle there. Your opponent's got TCs here. It's like, where do you hit? I think realistically, you need to maybe take this towards Imp for a castle of your own and trebuchets or something. But I think JorDan, if he was still on stone, he might be thinking about a forward castle of some kind. But he might feel like he can just snowball this. Like, that is a lot of units. The light cav can obviously go in for any monks that Ganji has. Ganji actually going to add his own light cav here against JorDan's monks, which is smart thinking. Hard to get in close, though, when there's this big of a meat shield. If JorDan 3-0s this, he's 3 wins after 2 rounds, which is not horrible. It's solid enough, having already played Hera, and then Ganji. Ganji would be 2 wins after 3 rounds. JorDan didn't know that light cav would be coming through. He sees it now. He tries to box things out with his monks. He then tries to dive with his own light cav. The spearmen for Ganji were waiting. Both players are going to get close to killing monks, but it's JorDan that actually kills monks. JorDan also will be adding siege. Again, the latest just keep boxing out. Ganji's trying, but Ganji's making more light cav and he's making more camels. I'd really like to see more upgrades from him. I think upgrades are going to be needed, but I guess you'd need to get attack instead of armor, right? Maybe the forging upgrade would be needed. JorDan tries to convert camels. JorDan doesn't get the conversion. He loses a monk. Great job from Ganji. It's all going in underneath this TC as well. So the TC fire could always help a little bit. It's so messy right now. The spears are going to get eaten. Those spears never had a chance. Ganji seems really concerned, but Ganji's got a villager lead. He's got a big villager lead over JorDan right now. Ganji's got 4 stables, making camels. And if JorDan doesn't find the conversions with his monks here, I think the camels can clear up these latest guys, and I think JorDan can take this game. And I'm not at all concerned for my stats with predictions and the fact that I predicted 2-1 for JorDan here. That is not at all on my mind, because I think solely on producing good commentary that has no bias whatsoever here, Ganji. None. Ganji has enough for a castle. If he can clear this and drop a castle in the middle, the gold is suddenly his. Farms for Ganji to the north of this. Expanding his eco throughout this is impressive. Farming count for JorDan still never really been that impressive for me. And it's just, dude, it's so easy to just box this out. And we got the monks and we got the camels. And the light cav aren't really here. Here we go. The mangonels should help a lot against the camels if they can find the engagements. And I just think Latus is too good, dude. Latus is too good. 13 attack in Castle Age, gets extra attack because of relics, and then also ignores armor. Huh? Excuse me? And that means JorDan holds this position, and he's also been up against primarily camos, so he's going to mix in spears as well. And this might be the game. There should be a castle here from JorDan. The castle from Ganji, obviously not as planned. And Ganji took that fight knowing he had to take it soon. He drops this castle hoping to just stay alive. He's still not dead, though. He's still not dead. He's still in this. He's going to click up to the Imperial Age. So, you know, he felt like it was only going to get worse. He felt like maybe on paper he had a chance there. Didn't get the fight he wanted. Look at it from JorDan's perspective. JorDan sees a castle from the opponent. JorDan doesn't have anywhere else to go with this push. He could go to the main TC and try and break in this way. But Ganji's already fortifying it up. Ganji's expanded well to the north. He's got gold. He's got some stone there. Honestly, full Halb, I think, is the best play right now for Ganji. Forget about camels. And he's dropping barracks, so he agrees. Also, a smart thinking from Ganji, who just killed a villager here with his light cav, to not go imp in this TC. To know how things would play out and that he would likely lose this one. I like to see JorDan dropping outposts on this right side and on this left side to know where his opponent's expanding right now and not be too tunnel vision. 13 plus 13 attack on these units here for JorDan. JorDan's got great value from his monks this game. JorDan has done better with monks and Lycav in general this series. He's just had better control. Ganji is committed more to monks. I guess if you just add up the amount of monks that were created because of the previous game, but it never really looked like it had much of a chance against JorDan. Byzantines are insane, guys. And JorDan's way late to imp. All of this army here could get countered by Halb. And JorDan hasn't done anything to stop Ganji from expanding into this area. This castle will likely be trapped down for JorDan. Ganji, though, has had to abandon a lot of his eco. Thankfully for him, though, his pikes are very cheap. And he is outposting everywhere here. The population's close. And the first treb will be on the way. He doesn't have a ton of access to gold, but he's got enough for the treb. Just don't take any fights before Halb here, Ganji. If you can afford Halb, that is. He's finding stone. He's finding gold right now. Again, this is where I feel like JorDan should be looking with something. We've got imp armor on the way. The blacksmith upgrades are looking really good for Ganji's infantry, I've just noticed. You could tell he's tempted. He wants to fight this. Now, JorDan could use Latis to snipe the first treb, so that's another thing you have to think about. Knowing Ganji, he might actually wall in that. Yeah, dude, Ganji, he does this better than probably anyone in Platinum. Why have to keep army here when you can just wall that in? That's so smart. There's outposting from JorDan now, so they will start to spot each other over here. I'd like to see Ganji, if he notices that, drop TCs. Again, the pikes are just going to get attack rounded here. Like, this is a waste of your advantage right now if you're Ganji. You can't be taking engagements like this. And here he drops a TC. Obviously, though, things are very, very awkward for him right now because he is behind in the series. I'm sure there's some mental struggles for him as well. JorDan's castle being repaired. JorDan getting chemistry so he can make bombard cannons eventually to push back the trebs. And now JorDan dropping a castle here. Feels like JorDan's just got too much map control for Ganji to deal with right now. It will give JorDan too much time to be able to do what he needs to do in this game. Plus, he's got all this gold in the middle. And he's got vision on the right side where Ganji cannot be right now. Ganji's making treb number 3. Ganji, he really wanted to have some type of army control over here, but he could because he was so preoccupied with JorDan in his original base. I think JorDan's going to be making hand cannons. So just as Ganji gets to Halb, hand cannons could be the option for JorDan, and he just needs more ranges. He's going to start to drop them now. And yeah, he sees this. He even brings trebs over here to start taking out the TC and leave these villagers exposed. I mean, if JorDan holds this position and he pushes the left, it's game over. But if he loses this position and doesn't have hand cannons, like, I'm not seeing the hand cannons. You never know. I don't know if the one bomber cannon from JorDan can do it. Ganji's going to be really distracted over here. And he's placed a castle now, which is not going to be so good for him because JorDan's got the trebs already. Wow, such a good play from JorDan. And JorDan sinking a lot of stone into repairing with 20 villagers. So this cannon can come out to take the trebs. Oh, there's 2 cannons. I was blind. I didn't see the second siege workshop. JorDan will go for the trebs. JorDan's already trebbing on the other side. Ganji desperate now. He has to open the walls to run in to repair the trebs. He's going to lose one anyways. Ganji actually has more pop right now, but it's Halbs. And Ganji's castle will fall. JorDan's castle's still standing. And Ganji just has 1 trebuchet. And he is just stuck in the corner, guys. And it feels like, yeah, I mean, the skirm switch would take too long. Too much focus from him. And JorDan's just had a super clean series here. After a worrying opening to TTL. I said he was looking at the maps. He's looking through the other strats. Seeing where people were playing. How they were playing. I think JorDan didn't do that before the first rounds. And perhaps came in here a little bit more comfortable and confident as well. JorDan needed this. Ganji did not. Ganji did not. This is going to make life interesting for Ganji. If he ends up losing this. He's not giving it up. But he has 0 on gold. He's added the ranges now. Or hand cannons, actually. This is kind of nice. The Halbs may actually end up clearing all of this. Maybe Ganji makes a desperate run over here to try and drop a TC. But you have to... You primarily Halbs, and you just can't stop this. And if you lose your castle, you're going to lose everything else that's behind it. And you can't really take resources here either because JorDan sees you. This is really clean play from JorDan. More along the lines of what you expect from a player like him. And I think the thing that impressed me the most from JorDan was this consistency today. Like, yeah, the original strategy was always really solid, but there was almost like never a doubt that JorDan was going to make the right move when I'd think of it, you know? Like, hey, this is the play now. JorDan's already doing it. JorDan thought about it. JorDan drafted with certain things in mind. JorDan losing his position, possibly, but he takes out the castle. He lost a lot of gold units, but remember, he does have gold. His opponent does not. The latest, not elite, but 13 plus 6 attack right now. Are going to loop into the back of that farmy eco. Ganji's quick walls have been stellar. I think the fact that he has had to quick wall at various points in this game have not been good for him. And, oh god, JorDan's latest are trapped. Holy, okay, well, bonus damage, baby. Goodbye, latest. Still pretty insane against Halbs. Expensive losses for JorDan, but again, consider the circumstances. Consider the amount of resources JorDan has. JorDan thinking about skirms now as he drops more ranges. And Ganji still living life without gold. I mean, this guy's going to run out of wood soon. This is rough. This is an area where if he could maybe start to expand, maybe there's a chance. I do feel like JorDan has been a bit low on food eco, and he's got to fix that so we can get some of these techs. Make some of the units he's planning on. Like 41 on food when you've had all the map control feels a little low compared to what you might expect. Ganji has more army right now, and Ganji has 3 bombard cannons, so if Ganji could push this castle, there's still always a chance. That's why JorDan wants the skirms here too, though. The Lithuanian skirms are really strong. And there JorDan tries to use his hand cannons to kill the bombard cannons. Ganji immediately repairs. It's where I'd like to see JorDan raid a little bit on that in that top corner. Like, loop around to the left side. He does kill a bombard cannon, though. Ganji can't make more of them. So that's definitely worth it. But yeah, just like a couple random units running into the north would be really devastating for Ganji. I still feel like JorDan would have to make big mistakes. Maybe a little reminiscent of the migration game where JorDan had the position to win It took him a little bit, and Ganji puts up a crazy fight. Ganji's still 200 pop. Getting skirm upgrades of his own. Skirms aren't as strong, but they are cheap. I'm happy to just toss in halbs to take decent engagements, and JorDan's still trying to shoot those freaking cannons. But guys, JorDan's got 1,000 stone. It feels like he can continue to play this game for a lot longer in this exact position. Ganji will run out of wood in the back of his base at one point. And cannons for bombard cannons. JorDan, fire. So I can say boink. JorDan, boink. Oh, that's huge. Boink. There we go. That's going to be another cannon as well. Yeah, that's all I needed. Now Ganji can't push back, and the castle just stands here forever. And so, not the way I expected JorDan to deal with the bombard cannons. I thought that he would use his own cannons, but he just used the hand cannons. And now even getting hill forts, so his TCs have more range. Hoardings for his castles that are stronger. Two-man saws, so he chops more wood. Yeah, this game's over. JorDan's going to take this one. There's going to be a castle over here to protect these resources. I think Ganji even forgot about that. Ganji did try and even raid with halbs here. But JorDan's got that death ball comp now. And we could see Elite Latus. We could see so many different things researched at the moment. I wouldn't mind a few more monks and like monk upgrades to convert enemy cannons if you ever see one. Yeah. JorDan has access to more of every single resource. Even more wood. Ganji's on his last couple trees here. But you never feel like resigning when you're at 140 pop. When you're at 110, sometimes you'll consider it. And obviously, Ganji, he knows how bad this is for him to lose 3-0 against JorDan. And, well, he has to hope that other people lose 3-0 against JorDan as well at this point. Interesting and fantastic series here in the second round here in this group. So, guys, JorDan answered all the questions we might have had from him after the first week. Again, on paper, I think JorDan losing 3-0 versus Hera, a player whose style tends to clash against JorDan's, that wasn't necessarily the weirdest result ever, but it was just how he lost and how he looked. That was the problematic thing for me. But, man, did he look good today. And honestly, I don't think Ganji had bad performance. Ganji had a really good performance today, but I forget about this map because this is JorDan's home map. I think Byzantines are a fine pick. But I think migration approach is something that Ganji's going to need to take another look at because his draft was centered heavily around that, with Italians and Japanese being the first two picks. And then also on Zawal, I think JorDan just mind-gamed the crap out of him with the Cumans pick. And JorDan was able to hold. I think Ganji truly felt like the only thing I can do against Turks is monks and hope in game 2. And JorDan countered that pretty nicely. So strategy was certainly there for the German today. Ganji collected more resources. What? Collected more res, barely. Obviously, a lot of it was wood, but that's pretty wild. JorDan had way more of the gold control, way more of the stone control here. I don't know if JorDan practiced this, but it really looked like this was a well-practiced build. Everything was clicking for him. Everything was really smooth. So now we could talk about the results in this group, see if Liquipedia is updated for us. But it does make things very interesting in this group. This group's just so competitive, man. Liquipedia is not updated for us. I wonder, hold on, can I do this instead? We can actually look at the odds. Look at our probabilities. We are in week 3, so it probably makes sense to do this more. And this also shows the updated results. Okay, so the percentages, I think it's still a little early to necessarily know. But the reality is we go based on wins, right? And so after 2 rounds, it's 5 for Andy, 4 for Hera, 4 for Barles, 3 for JorDan, 2 for Ganji, and then 0 for Lan. According to this, obviously, it shows where players could potentially end up, where their odds are to end up, but we still have 3 rounds left to go, and every game matters. These guys are all far too close. Sure, Ganji gets 3-0'd here, but Ganji gets, at 3-0 against Lan or somebody, and other players don't, then we never know how it swings. But JorDan back in the middle of the pack. We might have maybe expected him to be more towards the front. But nothing has really gone as planned in this group for the big names, Hera and JorDan. We'll see what happens in future weeks.